Hey there, it's Joe Johnson backstage here on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise with Gerry, Beckley, Dewey, Bunnell of America. This has got to be, for me, it feels like you've always been on the Rock and Romance Cruise.
Well, you're right. It turns out we've done 3 of the 4.
Yes, we have.
So this is our 4th one. We're veterans.
You are veterans, and almost literally, because you guys started it with your parents and your dads in the armed forces. So.
That's true, we did.
So tell me about the 50th anniversary. I've been seeing things everywhere about it, CBS and Dan Rather.
Yeah, lots of lovely things, a lot of archival stuff. We were on a few labels over the 50 years, so Warner Brothers did a variety of different releases, a 2 vinyl disc collection. I think there was a multi-CD box and then a single CD for as much as you can fit on one. The Capitol years have all been bundled together. I think there were 6 albums there, all in one box.
It's a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And to tell them about the Gonzo set,
and that's the odds and ends or whatever.
The
it is?
UK one that's coming out.
Which is full of, listed about 6 discs in that. So there's some unreleased material, which was fun to find. A guy named Jeff Larson, good friend of ours, he's our archivist. And he's actually really diligent. He's gone deep, dug deep into stuff, found tapes that we'd forgotten completely about. You know, sort of like, I like to say, the 13th song on a 12-song album
sure,
that went, never listened to it again. But in retrospect, you know, if you look at something from the late 70s or early 80s or early 90s, it kind of has a fresh feel again.
Sure.
So anyway, all of that will be available. It's part of the 50th. There's a beautiful box of a live concert we did at the Palladium in London back in October with a multi-camera shoot, and it was all built to be released during the 50th anniversary, so it's very current and well produced.
Is there any moment that really sticks out of the 50 years? I mean, there's been so many.
We kind of group, well I do, and probably Dewey too, we group, even though the George Martin years were quite varied, there were 7 consecutive albums. We did them in different studios, different continents, but we kind of grouped that as the George Martin era, and I think I would really list that as the highlight.
Yeah, definitely working with George Martin was a special thing, and he was a wonderful man, and we bonded with him, and he knew how to deal with the lads, if you will. So, and we had the whole British background, so we had a similar take on British humor and food and things, so it was a real comfortable situation. So I'm really happy that happened. May he rest in peace, Sir George.
And of course, Giles, his son, who we knew since he was knee-high, and of course is now, in fact, a lot of attention recently because he did Rocket Man, the Elton movie. So, yeah, it's been interesting to watch Giles grow up in his dad's, come out of his dad's shadow.
So, Gerry, which Dewey song is your favorite one to play when you're on stage?
Oh, I love playing Ventura. I think Ventura, as much as Horse is the kind of go-to, the number one, Ventura I think sums it up maybe even better. It's a real upbeat. We had a tour manager years ago who used to say it's "nothing can hurt me now" music, and I thought, well, that's a nice way to put it.
All right, you know what's coming. What's your favorite?
Well, I have always loved Daisy Jane from those early singles. I mean, I Need You is like a standard almost, and everybody has recorded that over the years. Everybody from Andy Williams to Harry Nilsson have done that. It's a strong song, but I love Daisy Jane. It's a real good love song.
Does that make you feel good?
Yeah.
All I sing is oohs and ahs on it, but it's a nice one to perform.
So to close out for Beatle Brunch, and we may have talked about this before, which America song do you think best represents your edge on the Beatles?
Our edge on the Beatles?
I mean, which
our
one
take
is most
on the
Beatlesque?
Beatles?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say Sister Golden Hair with the 12-string and the slide guitars and
I mean, working with George Martin, there was a lot of little subtle things that happened in the studio. We even remember working at Air Studios in London on the first one, and we were looking for some percussion instruments or something to work on. Oh, let's go back in the locker here. We have some things back. This is the one we used on Yellow Submarine, and so we were trying to incorporate.
Did you feel guilty about using that actual instrument?
No, we actually did.
Cool?
We used the bell from Penny Lane, I think, when the fireman rushes in, and our drummer at the time, Willie Leacox, he's like banging on it, and he broke it, and the rope came off the bell, and there was like this moment when, oh dear.
The Penny Lane bell.
Oh no, you guys should have snuck out the back door at that point. So, well, listen, on behalf of Star Vista Live and the Rock and Romance, we can't thank you guys enough.
Thank you, Joe.
Thoroughly, so much
Pleasure.
enjoyed you guys. Best congratulations.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Another 50. Okay?
All right.
I know.
That's my partner, Dewey Bunnell. Thank you.
or Dewey Bunnell.
Thank you very much. Happy Labor Day, if it's a happy time.
It's a song I wrote about